Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. I am your co-host, Strat Daddy. We have an amazing guest on today, a dude who I love, who's going to blow your mind with what he's doing down in LA. But first, my name is Stratton Brown, aka Strat Daddy. I got started in real estate probably, I think, 5 years ago now. Real estate has absolutely changed my life and the trajectory of where my life is going. Our goal here, and we're all going to say this, is to help you grow yourself and your business and have actionable insights you can take from listening to this, go and apply it, and go make some more money. Real quick, we have the Captain America, Dean Rogers. He's got the shield in his office right now as our other co-host.
What's up, guys? Dean Rogers, your other host here. My story is I transitioned from the NFL to then corporate to then real estate, and been doing that for 10 years now and doing all my investing in Central California. Just broke the 600 deal mark. So done over 600 deals and have a rental portfolio of almost $10 million. Just started coaching students last year on how to get started, how to grow their businesses, how to make money. And you guys can always connect with me at deanrogers.com.
We have the Master of Hair with the great merch on today. Master of Hair, show him the merch real quick.
Check that shirt out, bro.
Dude, he's rocking it.
I love that.
What a logo, bro.
He's ready to go.
I'm your other co-host, guys. My name's Jason Pritchard. Quick backstory on me is I worked in corporate America for about 15 years. I left that job and burned all the boats in late 2014. Since then, we have flipped, wholesaled, and done just over 400 deals. I have a rental portfolio of over 100 units, mainly based here in Central California. And like Stratton and the other guys have said, real estate investing has absolutely changed my life. And we want to transfer as many of the things that we've learned over our careers to you guys listening. So really excited to have our guest Anthony on the pod today. Strat, I'll let you introduce him and we'll get this thing going.
All right, so we got Mr. Big Money, Mr. Dubai, Mr. Money.
Mr. Dubai. He's even got the hat on, ready to go.
Yeah, nice.
You know, it's fun. It's funny because I literally came from like 2 project sites, and I was like, should I turn the hat or not? I'll just leave it on.
Mr. Anthony Sandoval, Mr. Dubai, bro. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me, man. This is great. Good setup. Love you guys. You guys are, action takers only, right?
Exactly. And real quick, so the audience can know and you can know, when we raise our finger, that is not to stop you. That is to let us know so we don't over talk over everyone that we're about to ask a question. But tell us, like, 10,000 foot view, bro, about you. I didn't even know you were a nurse. I just thought you've been a badass, like, since you came out the womb.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I 12 years actually as an RN, but I think around the 7th year, no, not even, maybe on the 5th year, I started hearing that question, right? Like, what else is out there, right? So I was in the career making good money. You know, there's a lot of PTO you get or paid time off. So I would travel, here and there, distractions, having a good time. But at some point, I wanted to retire my parents, so I know I couldn't do that with that kind of salary, So I came to that crossroads, and I really just like asked that question, like, am I just gonna go like the 401k route and just like not do anything about my parents' situation, or am I gonna go the entrepreneur route and go from there? And I didn't even know if it was gonna be real estate yet, so I started looking up ways to like make money online or on the side hustle. See if I can get 2 incomes going. How would that look like? So I just went to a free little Saturday seminar, and I took action and I got into real estate, and the rest is history. I was able to retire my parents quite quickly. Maybe I think about by my 2nd year, I was able to pull it off, because I think what fix and flips is that if you do it right in the right areas, like, you can exponentially make money like fast, right? So my first deal was like 40,000. I thought I was gonna make, and ended up making 80. The second deal, I thought I was gonna make this much, I'm gonna make 300, and then next thing you know, like, some of my deals will make like $500,000. So I think I really got good at just raising capital, and large amounts of it, to where I had more private money backed up than I had projects that were good enough for those deals, right? So sometimes it will go like that. And I guess those are good problems to have, right? Because you never want to stop raising capital in general. You gotta breathe and you gotta live and breathe real estate. And so because I did that all the time, and word of mouth got out, I put a team together, designers, architects, engineers, and then they run mostly the operation, right? So I can do what I do best, and that's guest speaking at stuff like this, um, capital raise parties, as they like to say, and do road shows, to go raise capitals for certain things. So that's why I think as soon as I found my alpha, right? Because everyone, what's your alpha? I'm a finesser, I guess. I'm a finesser of sorts. But when I travel, I get people excited. If you are excited about your project and the numbers work, the people are not trusting you with the project. The numbers are going to be there. The numbers are going to be there, right? They're trusting you with their money, not the deal. So if you definitely um, are really good at being genuine, having high integrity, and doing the right thing, even when your deals go south, as long as you do the right thing and make everybody whole, you'll get it back on the next one. That's just the name of the game, right? Because no one bats 1,000.
Bro, yeah, I mean, and you do have unmatched enthusiasm when I'm talking to you about stuff you're trying to do. How did you get used to talking to these really big money people? Because you're raising a lot of cash out the gate, dude. You aren't raising a 50 grand bridge loan. You're going in, you need to raise 500K, a couple million. And to where someone who has that type of money liquid is a different type of avatar generally who you're going to be speaking to. So how did you get used to having conversations, carrying yourself in those rooms? It's because it's way different than, let's say, raising money in the Central Valley for certain projects.
Right. No, I agree. I think what I think just being yourself, bro. If you're very genuine, it's amazing what can happen when you're really open and honest, and not try to be that showy off type of guy. I think what it is that I don't talk about the deal, not even the first 10 minutes of the conversation, really. I like to explore their wants, their needs, what are they doing with their money nowadays? And really, it's been as long as you give that one person an amazing experience, that person's going to tell the next person, that tells the next person. And, you build your book of business that way, right? But I think the way to carry your best way in those rooms is really just, you know, staying true to yourself, not trying to pretend to be something you're not. Be honest. Even when I had my one deal, now I've done over 100 projects, but even when I had my first project, you know, I had my vision. I went to my real good friend that was already wealthy. He was self-made already, Johnny. And, I told him it took me one trip to San Diego on that car ride, nervous as hell, to kind of just put myself out there and be honest and explaining my vision. And when he saw man, this guy really believes in his product, and he really believes in what he's doing. Um, he said yes, and then I mean the rest was history. Um, I think that's really the key there, is just really knowing what you want and really being genuine. I really love doing this, If you don't love it, it's gonna be really hard to become genuine.
Anthony, just so the listeners know, let them know what market you're currently investing in so they have an idea about the price point, the type of projects that you're doing, that type of stuff. And then I have a follow-up question for you after that.
Sure. So I'm mostly in the SoCal area. Maybe 80% of our business is SoCal, and then we have Vegas. We do Arizona, and those are just deals that just pop on our come across our desk. We look at it. This is good enough. We'll have it. most of those projects are very light fixtures, but the ones that I do here in SoCal, which is Silicon Beach, which is this area in front of the ocean, really here in Cali, which is it starts from like Santa Monica all the way down to about Redondo Beach. So that whole area strip in front of the ocean is called Silicon Beach, where you have your Google campus, all your major Fortune 500 tech companies. So the buyers there are young guys, have a great stock options and all that. A lot of wealth is there. And all that area has maybe like 10 different cities, 10 different beach cities. And we usually like to pick up properties around 1 million, exit around three and a half, put in 3, 4, 500,000 in rehab. I built great relationships with a lot of private equity firms, and they love our product because they know the area it's in. So they're like, man, even if you didn't sell it, I will buy it off of you, right? So it's a very niche market. It's not for the faint of heart. You have to really know what you're doing. You got to get your top talent, your team. I have an amazing team of designers. We have projects right now that, I think knowing that your team can produce the results, you don't have to worry about what price point you're in because you know they're going to produce a result. Like, for instance, this property in Long Beach. Sorry, not Long Beach, Laguna Beach. So Laguna Beach is pretty hard market to break into. But if I buy something at 1.14 and I'm exiting at 2.3 and putting in 250, I would say that's a pretty safe deal.
Right.
But everyone gets daunted by the whole, oh my God, that's a lot of capital raise. But really, or that's a big project. Oh my God, $1 million price for my real estate in 500s. But why would I want to do the same amount of work in the 500K price point? I could do the exact same thing in the 1. And the house is the same size. It's not like I'm building the house is only 1,300 square feet. So it's only like a beach home with a small lot, and they call them tall skinnies. So they're like on posts and piers. And everyone's like, this is actually smaller than some of the projects I do in Riverside or in, NorCal. Again, you tend to do things that are around you. I can't tell people, oh, move down here and do projects, but I guess what I'm saying is, the only difference is you got to add a zero on the amount of capital you got to raise. So you got to work a little harder and nothing's given to you. You got to just work that much harder to get it, or else you ain't going to get it. You're going to lose your EMD and not close the deal.
I love that, man. And you kind of answered the question already, but I think so many people when they're starting out have a mental block and they think of investing as like stepping stones. We got to start with the $200,000, then the 500. And I kind of started like that too. It sounds like it was a function of the market and you already are in a more expensive market, but you kind of just skipped all of that. Was that a mental thing for you? Because coming from a nursing job, I know we still, like with me in corporate America, I think I still had a lot of scarcity when it came to my belief systems about money and stuff like that and my ability to raise money. So did you just overcome that, or did you have to do some internal work to get to a point where you could jump into that? Talk to the people that are like listening and explain your process.
So that was a build up, right? My first project was in the 400,000 range, right? I bought it for 425, I still remember the numbers. That's crazy. I bought it for 425, put in 55,000, and then it sold for 611. But I went to market like at 580. And then it sold for 611. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, And then the next deal was, I picked it up for 675. So it just kept going incrementally. But when I saw that as long as the numbers don't lie and you're really sure about it, and the cushion, of course, when you go in the higher price points, you got to have crazy margins because if something happens, let's say half of it gets wiped out, I still walk away with it pretty good, and then my business model is pretty much all leverage, right? I raise a private capital, put a hard money loan for the bulk of it, and my returns are always going to be infinite, but it really is going from step to step. And I think once they saw that, my money partner at the beginning, I quickly outgrew him because he was like, hey, I ran out of money. I'm like, he goes, you keep doing your thing. You're doing amazing. He had X amount of money he wanted to use for real estate. I went through that real quick the first like 18 months. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna provide so much value to you, bro. I'm gonna grow your whole portfolio. And then I added like 29 doors to his portfolio, and then he ended up bringing more money.
So you mentioned a few things that I think is really important through your story, where you talked about what helped you get into these deals was the ability to raise money and reaching out and building that relationship with that first early partner, Johnny, right? And how important that was for you. Can you share, because your market being in Southern California, it is a different breed. Like you're dealing with different people, different environments. What were some of the things that you did to put yourself in specific rooms? Like what rooms did you put yourself in? And how did you approach those scenarios to talk about your projects and raise that money? I think that'd be helpful for people to be like, okay, I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, so I think the primary things that I did was go to a lot of private equity firm like meetups, number one. Number two, I would go to a lot of fancy $500 a pay, $1,000 a plate, charity fundraisers. Most of them were out in Newport Beach, actually in Laguna Beach, where I do business now. And I would look at them like, man, I think I could do a project out here, and it just kind of fell out of the sky last month, and here we are now. But I think when you start kind of looking for that in circles, I think the first impression is like, who is this kid? Because I've always looked really, really young for my age. But when they find out how long I've been doing real estate for and how old I am, they take you more seriously, especially at the beginning when I look even younger, 10 years ago or whatever, 8, 9 years ago. I looked even younger. It was a challenge for people to take me seriously, but when I jumped on a Zoom or whatever it was back then, in person, I would showcase all the stuff that I had already done, and track record is everything, right? That's when it became kind of like, man, I think I have something going on here, because I guess not a lot of people have done what I've done with so little time. And when people say you've done $65 million in deals, man, that's a lot. I'm like, you gotta look at it from a context, right? It's SoCal, so I mean, one deal's one, and you set it at 3, you're already there. So it's like not a lot in terms of number of deals, but I think because I look at it, that adding the zeros to me, it's just not that. Like right now, I'm trying to raise 25 million before the year ends, for this debt I want to do for my community. So that for the right deal, right? How do I do that? Because I talk to private equity pies. They see,
Can you
and now they're like, have fun. I was, okay, I could do that.
I think your AirPods are cutting out a little bit.
yeah, your AirPods are tripping. We got to start going to more charity events, boys. I'm telling you,
Dude, telling me, man.
Event. I was right. I was right.
You just said that, right? Yeah, he got me excited. I'm like, okay, I know what we're setting up after this. We're doing some charity events, some big play dinners. All right, how's your
old school stuff works, man? All the country club golf
Yeah,
courses.
I can hear you guys now.
That's the stuff that works well too, man. Outside of social.
Yep. Here's a question for you, Anthony. What's Anthony's approach like when he finds a potential private money lender that has capital?
Like, am I still no more?
You're still choppy. You might have to take them off. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna.
But yeah, I think that's something that's interesting about the SoCal market. Like there's a lot more networking that takes place.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think I'm lucky because you got Hollywood like right here. So my office is so I live in the Chase Bank building, right? I think have you been to my office? So
I think I have, yeah.
so I live in the Chase Bank building, right? So it's a work live loft. So it's an HOA and you can use it as commercial or you can live in it. So I live on the 30th floor and then my office is right under me on the 29th floor. And so the types of characters that live in this building are very high end equity people. So I put myself literally in a Chase Bank building by design. My next door neighbor, one floor down, has about 3 million with me already. And then yesterday I had a dinner. I brought him back to my office because my office is also a creative office space to create content. So I bring all my guests to there. They get well. They have a view of the entire LA basin. You got the Hollywood sign there. And so right now, I think my new niche that's coming in, it's like high profile people, right? And how I can, create, kind of create that wealth for them. Some people, they want to give me too much money. And I'm like, I can't deploy that money that fast because you're expecting a return on your investment the day you release it to me. How about I get back to you when I have something sizable and then we'll reverse engineer, right? Because I could say yes, but now I got to perform. And so the funny story in Dubai was when I was telling him, oh, yeah, you can $2-3 million projects at a time. How many of those do you have? 200? And I started laughing like, no, I have like, 5 at the time or whatever. And they were laughing at my friend. Our minimum investment to bring money from Dubai is like 250 million. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have anything like that, right? So what did I do? I reverse engineer it. I said, hey, I'm getting close. I think I'm ready to talk. I've been going to Dubai lately. So we're getting close in terms of like how we can activate that money and like get through it quick, because if you can't, it's gonna bite you, right? Because you're not performing at what you say you were. So it becomes like a new problem. So it's just problem solving. It's funny. I'm solving problems that are like light years away that I ever thought compared to my little problems that I had when I first started, right? Why isn't this wall straight? And now it's more like there's a ton of money here. How do I get it deployed efficiently and brought here to provide value to others? And then that's kind of what we're working on, kind of a debt fund,
So with your debt fund, bro, are you looking to buy and hold more stuff, or are you trying to just turn money over as fast as you can?
No, a combination of both. Turn the money over for fix and flips for my community members because I give them their first deal.
Okay.
So I'll fund their first deal, and then I get to charge operating. It's called operator fees, right? So when you're running a debt fund, you charge your operator fees. So really, it's me deploying that money that way, and then partnering with a healthcare system where they need to buy like, hey, we need to buy 250 doors for convalescents. Okay, so I gotta go find that. So I go walk a 37 unit multi-unit in Long Beach. They're all studios converted to convalescent living or even for senior care. So these healthcare systems, I mean, how did I know this? Because I started going to private equity firms and I was like, this is interesting. The fix and flip is cool. It brings liquidity, but what am I going to do with all the liquidity? It's not like I could go and spend it all. Like, what am I going to do, right? So now I'm doing that, right? So I'm still tied to real estate. And I think what I've noticed is I've learned how to say no to other opportunities that don't really fall in my vision. I don't want to please people just because it's cool or whatever. And I said, if it's not in real estate where I already have, it's already on my wheelhouse, I'm going to say no. Because a lot of, you guys are going to know this. Opportunities start coming across your desk, and then you want to jump into it and you say, oh, but it really sometimes it's just a distraction. And I've lost money and stuff like that, right? I'll have 5 different things that I'm doing at once. They're all losing money. And then real estate is still there, but like I'm not putting my attention to it. Now I'm just like dividing my attention 10% here, 20% there, and all of them are doing mediocre. And then the minute I revert all my attention back to real estate, it's making more than all the losses combined of the other ones. Like it's insane, right? So I've learned not to do the whole Amazon store crap, the Walmart store, and drop shipping, and this, and what's the next new fad, and
Guilty.
I've done it. I bought two stores like that, 30K, 35K each, and
Yep.
lost money,
Yep.
So it's one of those it's one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna start saying no to all this stuff, because if I'm doing something right, I'm just gonna go all in, give it 300%, and that alone is gonna like make me feel fulfilled. I'm not chasing after something that's not there. And Warren Buffett said it best, right? He said it. What happened? You missed the Bitcoin, you missed the whole boom, and what do you think of that? And he goes, yeah, I don't invest things I don't understand well. Because he knows he has to say no to some things to keep saying yes to the things he's good at. So, he just does it. So I've learned to do that. Like when people bring me new things with options and this and AI, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I don't really invest in things I don't understand well. And I'd rather just keep it that way. Unless I have throwaway money, then I'll throw in something expecting, I'm okay losing it if it goes south, But for me to be involved in something, it has to be tied to real estate. And this private equity firm has 200 million. They said, if you pull this off, we're going to give you 20% of the take to operate all these homes. You just have to go do the acquisitions and help us with the private equity, bringing it in and funding those kind of deals. I said, okay, it's real estate. I'll do it.
1 minute, Jason. I want to know what your structure is on, like, when you're raising this money in this debt fund. Like, is it like, okay, I'll give you X amount of percent now, then you have like a hurdle rate? Like, what does that look like? And how are those conversations going? Are they
Yeah. So, one thing that you got to really simplify things, especially if you're going to be working with family offices and all that. But I think simplifying the terms, right? Saying, hey, I'm going to use your money for every year. You're going to get, and right now, guys, wealthy people don't really care about the rates that you're going to offer them. What they care about is the preservation of their wealth and what it's going to be used for. So if you're going to grow it, great. So if I'm going to promise them 10 or 8, whatever, then I go ahead and charge the operator fee of that whole entire fund, right off the top. And then what else is left goes to them. But if I do a performance clause, I get to keep 50% of what I was able to do above that rate. So you could probably make money in like 3 to 4 different ways in a debt fund. It just depends how you structure it. Who's going to be doing the underwriting for you? Because who's going to underwrite all these deals? You're not. I don't have time for that. So you gotta like look at it as like it's a team effort. I'd rather make a small piece of the pie than me trying to take the whole pie, but at what cost, right? My time, no time for family, no time for kids. And one thing that I realized, guys, is that I would go sometimes 60 days without talking to my mom once. That's how I was the first 6 years. I was getting burned out. I was working 12, 14, 16-hour days. And then I said to myself, man, if this is this really what it's going to look like till I fucking die? I'm getting burned out. And then one thing I realized, like, yeah, I'm doing it all kind of by myself and I feel lonely, right? And then I came to that pivotal moment where I said, I don't have to be the guy with the deepest pockets in the room anymore. I'm tired of chasing that. I just want to be happy and I just want to enjoy the journey. That's it. I don't need to be chasing that $1 billion, how I was thinking I was going to be like this, that. And ever since I pivoted that and just being genuine relationships, not asking and looking like, oh, I only look at you because you're going to give me money, right, for my projects. The minute I pivoted, it's interesting what happened there. My relationships got better. I had more time for my family. I stopped working that many hours. For what, right? I didn't have to do a gazillion deals anymore. And deals, money, and relationships started just coming down like abundantly. And I was just like, man, I had this big knot in my chest for a long time because I was just like, how come I don't see that hockey stick projection yet? I'm making money, but it's like mediocre money to me now. I need to make $1 billion, or I need to get to that $100 million multi-hundred. And that was tiring me out. I was getting tired. And then after that, I did that pivotal moment. And then I was like, dude, I haven't been this happy in a while. It's crazy. Now I hang out with my mom. I travel. I don't have to worry about what are other people going to say if I leave the office for a week. Like that went out the door already. Like now I come and go as I please. I say yes to only the things that I want to do. I don't care if the other one's going to be so lucrative, Anthony, but you got to travel to different countries and all that and be the face of this company. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do local guy here. And if the opportunity comes and it doesn't take time from my plate because I preserve my time now, I'm happy. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. Just kind of doing the things that I like, and not having to worry about, if I'm going to leave the office for an extended amount of time. And, I don't show that work ethic. So the work ethic's not going to translate to this, right? It's people are going to remember you not for what you did or the numbers or the amount of money. People are going to remember you for the way you made them feel. And if you made them feel a certain way, you're going to be memorable forever. Because you're not looking at them as a dollar sign at that point. You're looking like just to hang out. Like sometimes I hang out with people I don't need anything from them. I just want to hang out. Because tell me what you're here for. And it's like, I just want to hang out. They'll be like, wait, what? You're not here to talk business? Like, nah, not today, man. What are you up to? And they're on some boat in Newport, So I think that's really the key there, the key difference.
I think that's interesting insight because I think as an entrepreneur, you're always chasing like the next big thing. And that's something that I've had to kind of think through myself too, because I'm running around chasing things myself. And recently I've been doing it, but I'm becoming more aware of like, nope, like this is what I like. I like to be at home with my family. And when I do travel and I do go to events and speak at events and stuff like that, especially with, Strat and Jason, like I love those moments. Those are super fun, super fulfilling. But then when I'm back home, I love to be back home with the family and all that kind of stuff. So you got to find like what works for you. And that's not always easy as you're chasing around a bunch of different things. So the sooner you can try to like figure out what you want, what the end result is that you want, you can start to design it around the lifestyle you want, which is what you were saying.
Exactly. Once you hit that nice balance, like, man, I think that's where the magic really starts to happen. Like crazy, just too many opportunities come to me now. Like I get to pick and choose the ones I want. That's a good feeling, just this month, I think we closed 5 deals, $6.5 million. And they were all funded so eloquently, and these are cool deals that only I want to do. Like one of them in Laguna Beach, another one, 2 of them are in Mar Vista, which is another beach city in Silicon Beach. Another one's right here by Hollywood. And then another one's in a beautiful like mountain, like at the foothill of the mountains where you see the back part of our office. One at the foothills, they're a beautiful wooded area. And those are only cool projects that I like to do. Like, okay, this is going to be fun. Now I look at them like, this is going to be cool. All the team's going to design this. This is all going to look great. Now, do I want to do it by myself? No. You know what? I brought in my mentees. Hey, if you help me raise the capital, I'll give you like, 25, 30. I'll give you a third of this deal. Right? You got to follow the training.
That's pretty cool.
Be the boots on the ground. And it's like so life-changing. Are you serious? Oh my God, I'm so ready, man. I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge. Okay, cool. We raise the capital together, and we close the deal, and we're off. And I just show up 30 minutes once a week per project. Quick high level 30 minutes. Go through our sauna. Project managers there. Our back end team for data entry. And what's going on, guys? Give me the updates. High level. Okay, cool. All right. See you guys later. And I only show up to the project 3 times, beginning, middle, and end. And what do I show up there for? To shoot content. Then I go home. because I know that the team is doing what they're doing, and then we chime in once a week, maybe twice if needed, 30 minutes, and I'm seeing everything come in and materialize in front of me because there's photos. They're showing me screen shares, and it's a good thing, bro. I feel like I don't need to have the whole 300K profit on one project. I'm okay with just having 100, 150, but then I have like 16 of those going on right now. See what I mean? So it's like, it's okay to not have to take the whole thing by yourself. You're going to overwhelm yourself if you're trying to scale. If you don't want to do that, then do one at a time. You keep the 300. That's fine. But just know it's going to take all your time because you're going to be wearing all the hats. And I tell people, what I'm good at is finding the deal, structuring the deal, funding the deal. That's my alpha.
Talk to us about finding the deal, Anthony, because I know the market in SoCal where you're at is going to be different than even where we're at in Central California or some other areas where different direct-to-seller marketing stuff isn't working. So is it all relationship-based? I heard you say multiple times these deals find me, right? So
so I would say,
how does that work?
So check this out. I came to a crazy epiphany. So I was doing the whole wholesale operation, cold calling, this, that, the first 2-3 years to find my own deals. I was never really a wholesaler in general. I started as fix and flip. Then I went to Carlos in sales as a thing. I took the training, and then I started wholesaling on deals that I wasn't taking up, but they had good numbers, right? So it was all relationship based at the beginning. So I said, all right, I'm at relationship based, plus I'm gonna create my own lead gen. And one thing that I found was like, we're working so hard, and I had like all these VAs, and making all those calls, and a couple of contracts would trickle in, and then we're spending 20,000, 30,000 overhead on all that operation, the marketing dollars, the staff, everything, right? And I wasn't getting that more deals than I was otherwise, just receiving them like organically, right? And then I said, this overhead's killing me. I want to try something up. I'm gonna like do more meetups, put myself out there. Anthony the cash buyer, send me all your deals. Do meetups, start building my own community. It's a small community, it's nothing big, but there's people in there that have 25,000 reasons why they want to find a deal, right? Because that's the cost of admission to get your first deal if you want to roll with us. And you can even partner with me if you want, if the deal has enough room, right? Enough margin. And I'm getting more sub-2 deals, more all kinds of deals. And we just did one in our Orange County, sub-2. It was so easy. I was just like, wow. That deal cost me $0 for that lead. Why? Because that realtor happened to see me on Instagram, call me, hey, I have this big birdie. I don't think I have enough time for this deal to sell on the MLS. The foreclosure is like in 12 days. It's already Thursday, so I'm gonna lose 3 days right now over the weekend, and it's gonna be. I really want her to say, okay, let me see what I can do. She had maybe $90,000 in arrears, but the condo principal was only $226, but it was worth $500. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting it at 50% of the ARV. Sure, why not? So I put the $90K, stopped the foreclosure. I assigned that deal. It was such a slam dunk deal. Everyone was like, you're an idiot. Why didn't you keep that deal? Bro, it makes me happier. I want to make a raving fan out of my mentee, and I wholesaled it just for $10K to my mentee, and then she replenished back the 90,000 that I had put on for arrears. So she was on it for $100, and she got a $226,000 condo that's worth $500 on the current market. Got it for $100,000, fixed it, and right now another comp came out 515. So now she's up. I'm just like, that's a beautiful thing, bro. All the wonderful texts I get, I can't believe you gave me this deal. This is the best slam dunk deal ever. I've done a couple flips here and there. I'm already a realtor experienced, and she has more experience than me. I mean, she's been in real estate longer than me, right? But I think I like doing cool, different things like that, and just you know what? Give that to the mentee, bro. I don't even want it. Or I told Jason, do you want it? Like, nah, you know what? You're right. There's 5 new mentees that came in. Let's make some cool raving fans. And if the numbers work, I mean, it's crazy. You're buying for $30 entry fee, and you're getting like, a property is worth $400 or $500, but the loan is like 2.9 APR. Like, you're not gonna find that anywhere, So it's just the good feeling that I get from that. Just the law of attraction, abundance. If you think this way, you speak it into existence, things just start happening. Now, one thing that we are doing though, this is a good one if everybody wants to write this down, is we're getting a lot of my leads are coming from law firms. So we partner up with 3 other law firms and we're just getting their dead leads. Now, what's a dead lead to a law firm? Foreclosure, stop foreclosure, other ads. They get 600 calls a month, but their conversion rate is only 10%. What do they do with all the rest of those leads? They throw them away. I'm like, why you throw them away? Why? Send them to me. Well, what do we get in return? Look, for every deal we close, we're going to give you this much percentage if the lead comes from you guys. Well, if I'm on foreclosure and I call the office, hey, stop the foreclosure. I got this freaking sell date and I can't, I don't have the money. They're like, all right, we're going to have to file a bankruptcy. The usual, it's to stop it. And you have like 3 months to really get the hell out. But our retainer fee is $10,000. They don't even have that. And it's sorry, we can't help you, but that's their lead. Now,
damn, what a nugget, dude. That's a
hey,
really
I can
good
help
nugget,
you.
bro.
How much you owe in arrears? Let me run the numbers real quick. All right, you know what? I can help you out. I'm gonna give you $5,000 in your pocket so you can move out, and I'm gonna pay your loan and your loan's back to normal, but I'm gonna keep that loan in place. What do you mean you're gonna keep the loan in place? I have to keep that loan in place. It's the only way. It's a part of our program. Whatever. No, we said it more eloquently with our scripts, but those leads from a law firm, we already know the pain is there. Right name, right number. You're not dirtling around with freaking cold call lists, So I was just like, dude, it's not costing me anything. These leads are just relationships. Me just hanging out with people, talking to lawyers. All my buddies are lawyers. Hey, send me your contact for all the probate people. And I send it to my office girl. Call all these people in here. Figure it out. Here's a script. Tell them we'll give them value. Their deals, they're dead leads anyways to them. We might as well monetize them. And so that's where a lot of social media, a lot of deals come through social media, realtors, relationships, all that good stuff. And then our law firm fees. And then, Adriana with the Adriana's Insurance coming to her office and she wants to, get into that game. And I said, dude, there's so many ideas in my head right now of how we can get leads because your CRM is so massive.
So big.
Like, those are literally like free leads there. So I always think like, where can I get free leads instead of me freaking like paying the whole team and scrubbing lists and I'm not gonna lie, it works for some people. In SoCal, for some reason, wholesaling like that, like cold calling is tough because everybody knows that California, everyone knows what their home costs. Everybody wants $1 million for their house, right? And most of the time they're right, but you don't want to offer them $1 million. That's your margin. They're like, I can give you 600. They're like, nah, I'd rather just take my shot. So, wholesaling is a little different in SoCal because it is a little tougher to implement. Because, everyone wants that high price point. Now, my friend said this and she sold it for this. Okay, great. That's not what that is, but okay. So I figured, you know what? Once I did that pivot, bro, my operating expenses like plummeted. I just started creating more content, having fun with our studio space, and just kind of doing the things that I like and stop caring about, real estate's really not done that way. Like, why are you guys doing all these videos and this and this and that? And you're going to get the naysayers because, you're usually used to just real estate being a boring ass, office building with like a bunch of desks and a bunch of phones and you got to, cold call,
Bro, tell me about how you put together these capital raising yacht parties. Tell me about these things.
So some of the wealthy people, they're like, hey, you're always around, you're always around pretty girls, this, that, and I'm like, why don't we have a hangout? You bring the fun, we hang out, we talk business. Okay, cool. I talk Johnny, we gotta do this. I can. You take the boat. All right, cool. I take the boat out. We set it up, and we talk. We have fun. But really, I get to know them on a personal level because they just think, Anthony brings. If I say Anthony, bring me fun and have an amazing time. I just got recently divorced, and I'm wealthy, and I want to meet people. But when they realize, like, I'm not really there to entice you at a good time, so you can give me money like that. I'm really just here to like get to know you better, bro, so I can see how we can do business. And it's funny, bro. When I open up and they open up, man, some of these guys have a lot of like bottled up, either remorse from the divorce and this, and bro, they weren't even planning on opening their checkbook that day, and then they're like, you know what, I have like 25, 20 to play with. How many deals is that? I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a couple deals. And then they're like, all right, why don't we start off this? Let's do 3 for now, And now I'm like, wow, now I can do deals on Balboa Island next to the boat where my partner. It's like the proximities are going like this. Where at first I would go raise capital from doctors at my job, Yeah, I got 100. These people were like, oh, I got 20, 25. So it's really your book of business, bro. And it takes years to curate that. People think, oh man, this money just falls out of the sky. No, I've been doing this for 8, 9 years already. These are like relationships I have for many, many years. So as your book of business continues to grow, you never really want to stop raising capital because you never know when you're going to need it, at what amount you're going to need.
Anthony, have you found that it's harder or more challenging to raise capital from high net worth or ultra high net worth individuals or private equity?
Yes, it is harder because you gotta prepare a whole entire prospective pitch deck or proposal, because a lot of those ultra high net worth people, they have gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So you gotta go through them. I don't even know half the people that I do business with that are actually the family owners or heirs of those family offices. So you go through the gatekeepers process. And if their process says you need to submit this, that, we're going to look at all the deals you did. We're going to look at your track record, where you're really on title, or you're just BSing them, right? So I send them the spreadsheet. Hey, here's 100 plus deals. They look at it. Okay, yeah, it looks like your LLC was doing all these deals. Okay, verify. And it takes time. So yes, it is it's different because there's a certain point where you can still deal with the main guy, but after a certain amount of wealth, there's a gatekeeper.
Where's that number at? Just out of curiosity, more or less. Is it like 20 million, 50 million, 100?
I would say starting from maybe like 50 and up, because I know a couple of people that have like 25, and I literally see their bank account look. I'm like, shit, that's liquidity there. That's crazy. Yeah, like 50 and up. 50 and up is where I would say there's a gatekeeper always. I never meet them. I want to meet them because I just want to see what this guy's about.
Yeah.
But they're all over the place. Sometimes they're like, "Hey, I just got in right now. Is he still in the city?" He left already. I'm like, all right, so they're moving around constantly. And a lot of these people park their money in real estate too. I get them deals too. Hey, I need something for this. Like right now, I guess I'll speak it into existence. I have this Dubai Connect that needs to find. Brings jewelry, right? He's a jewelry guy here in the jewelry district, which is one of the biggest jewelry districts in the nation. Here in downtown LA, it's the whole jewelry district, and they are looking for a commercial building with commercial space at the bottom, retail, and then offices or whatever above. But they need an subterranean underground parking. Their budget is 40 to 50 million. And it has to be underground because it's jewelry, so it needs to be more secured because they're in the jewelry industry and they're from Dubai. And how do they get that connect? My buddy in the other building, he's an influencer, but he's in stock options. He guest speaked at one of my conferences, the stocks. And he said, hey, one of my mentees, his dad is from Dubai and they're looking for this building. Here are all the specs. Can you find something? Okay, cool. So I told my team, it just happened yesterday. So where do they want the building? Anywhere from downtown LA all the way up to Culver City, that whole area, which is Koreatown. There's a lot of high rises on the way up. And as you see Wilshire here, you see all the high rises, because I can see the whole entire LA right now from up here, right? So all the buildings there are like any of those as long as they have subterranean. I'm like, wow. So, I told them, so what are we doing here? Just push a $3 million assignment fee on top. It's crazy when you start knowing those numbers. Cause like, hey, you find them a deal, it's funny because he goes, just mark it up 2-3 million. I'm like, wait, what? What? I'm like, all right, let me see what I can do. And so, quickly I told I told my assistants, like, here's a Rolodex of all my commercial contacts. Call them all. Let them know that if they find it, we'll pay them handsomely. We'll all make money together. Why am I going to try to do this by myself? I'm not a commercial guy. I've done commercial before, and I quickly realized I'm out of my league. I'm not ready for this, and I got out of it quickly. But I know commercial guys now, you know.
Jennifer says Midtown.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, correct. And she knows her LA, so it goes all the way to Midtown. Yeah, because Wilshire kind of curves and it goes all the way to the ocean, but we're on this side, we're inland, so it kind of goes towards Malibu, towards Beverly Hills, all that. So yeah, that whole corridor is like all this money. I remember when I would look out, like, that's a lot of money. All that corridor, you know, you got Equitable Building, you got all these famous buildings on there. So yeah, that's where it's at.
So, Anthony, one of the things that's been really impressive to me that I've noticed since we connected and we've been spending more time together and we've done events together and different things that we've hung out at is the quality of the people that you always have around you has always impressed me. And I think it goes back to just your approach to just being a genuine guy and like trying to find a way to add value, trying to just show up and be a good person. And can you talk more about that? Like what it takes, who do you need to be to attract those type of people?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's all about your approach. I know a lot of people were like, how the heck did you land Adriana? She's like the biggest insurance lady in California, right? And then I said, you know, I was just genuine. I just took my shot, you know? And she said, sure, I'm available. I was like, oh shit, she's actually available. Cool. Let's talk first. You know, I'm going to say, yes, I need to understand your thing. But I think me just being very genuine in terms of like even these, you know, hedge fund people that I've met through the years, especially in Miami, is that when you're talking to someone, business is secondary. Your main goal is to get to know them, talk to them, and by nature, because I'm a high I, my mind's always racing. You know, all visionaries tend to have some sort of mild ADD, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was younger, it was very hard to control. Now that I'm older, you know, I check myself. I kind of know, like, slow down. What do you need to do? Don't overwhelm yourself. You got, you know, maybe 20 calls to make today. What are the most 3 important ones you got to make? If you can't make any, you got to make these 3, right? Is that I gave her my vision of what my community is like and what I want my community to grow like. And she totally connected with that. And I think when I tell people that the certain things I want to do, they're generally coming from my place of like my emotional, you know, place where my heart is, right? Like I want to help people. You know, I tell people, hey, I have a vision. For every 10 houses I build in El Salvador, I'm gonna give away 2. And that's kind of like the next things I'm working potentially for 2024 and 24 is like, I want to build 10 houses. And yes, I'm a businessman at the end of the day. But for every 10, I'm going to like donate 2, right? And already someone's like, hey, bro, I'm in this private WhatsApp group. Because me, I'm just talking about it. I'm in this private WhatsApp group with the right-hand man on the finance department of the president of El Salvador, Bukele. When are you going to come down here? I can introduce you to the right-hand man. I'm like, holy shit, that's tight. Because my cause is so noble. I'm like, I kind of want to have been doing this because that's where my parents are from. You know, that's all our heritage out there in El Salvador. You know, small little country in Central America. But I think when people really genuinely see like, man, okay, this guy's a little different. He's not the usual business guy, cutthroat alpha. And my approach, I was never a salesman, bro. I was never a salesman. I was shy, no sales
Bro,
skills.
you're a hell of a salesman. You're a hell of a salesman.
Is that people like, it's funny, you never asked me to buy anything. You make me ask you, so what do I do? How do I get into this? You know, and that's true. I've started realizing is like, yeah, I don't try too hard to convince people what I'm about. Because if it comes from the heart, it kind of just shows itself. Like your eyes light up, you believe in the cause. And I think that's what people naturally see in me is that they trust me that even, some people don't even ask for track records. They just go, all right, let's see, what do you have right now? I'll write something that sounds cool and exciting. And it sounds like you're very excited of it, because I am. I genuinely am excited about some of these cool projects, I just think just being genuine, bro. I mean, it's hard to do that because a lot of people that are not high eyes, because high eyes are emotions driven. We are emotional creatures. We like to be around people. We don't like to work by ourselves. We're not integrators. But do I know integrators? Yes. So I bring them into my organization. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be behind a spreadsheet 10, 12 hours a day. I'm going to die slowly inside. And that's when I was getting burned out. I said, I'm pigeonholing myself because I feel like I'm dying inside reading 50 escrow emails a day. I don't want to do that anymore. So I quickly got out of that, and then I haven't been this alive in a while. So I think that's the magic moment for me. And then all this abundance started happening, and and then also, it's not to say all this, I'm, the abundance and all that, but there's all the action taking that is needed to get there. Though I wake up, I go. Let's do this, let's do that. Action taking. Well, what happened? Did you double dial? Go. I need to talk to this guy. And so, yes, 80% of it is action taking. Don't get me wrong. You could dream all this stuff up, but if you're not manifesting, going to Dubai, meeting these big people, doing this, and you're not action taking, it's not going to happen. Then you could talk all you want, and I think that's where a lot of people get caught up, is with all the hype and social media of all these people that they can talk a lot, but at the end of the day, if they're not taking the action, they're just gonna, it's gonna show eventually. So I think that's the primary reason, the primary difference between the people that are just gonna talk and show you how to do it, but are they actually doing it?
How big is I just listening to you talk today, bro? I can tell that mindset is a very important part of what has gotten you here today. And I've heard you just say a couple of things about being open to opportunities, being abundant. And I love how you layered in right there that it has to be the mentality along with the work ethic. It's not going to be one or the other, right? And it sounds like we all have the drive to work, right? And I think a lot of people self-sabotage because mentally they have these limiting beliefs. Like, how was that internal work like for you, just as far as like overcoming that type of stuff? And then really, I've heard you say epiphany and a couple different things where you had these moments where you turned the corner.
That's a really good question. I think the $1 million pivot that I like to call it is the moment I realized I'm doing so many things that I need to replace myself as quickly as possible because they don't fulfill me, right? Say, for instance, right now, a project meeting, new acquisition. We just bought it for 1.6. We're going to put 300,000 in there. We're going to sell it for 2.7. Okay, cool. What are the next steps? I don't want to create those steps. Here's the template I created a long time ago, and there's 4 people on the team in that meeting, and everyone's going to present what they did, their actionable steps, and then they check up. And there's no greater feeling when you have a to-do list and you cross that off. So when you have a sauna and that thing gets strike through, bye-bye, it's done, right? And so I think company culture is big. Again, my company is not that big, bro. It's 14 people. But I think the quality of people that I have, we've gotten so good at hiring, bro. I mean, our HR manager, she's so amazing. She screens everybody, interviews them, and then I just pop in for 5-10 minutes on an interview. Hey, what's up, guys? And there's a candidate there. And then I go, all right, I heard what I heard. What do you think? I always have my team tell me what their thoughts are. And the main objective that I've realized that's made me be able to multiply myself so many times is I always tell people, the primary goal, even on the new employees, our primary goal for us, everybody, is to protect my time. You have to protect my time by learning how to solve your own problem. When you have a problem that's not solvable by, with your own devices, when you approach me, you're going to come with a problem, but you're going to come with 3 possible option solutions. Don't come to me with a problem and you have no options. Okay? Okay, cool. So everyone's learned. They come to me. Oh, we haven't. Okay, so we never come across this. Okay, cool. Let's slow down. What's going on? Okay, cool. So have you had thinking time yet? And we call it thinking time. When you actually turn off your phone, turn off everything, good 20 minutes thinking session. You think about the problem and the possible solutions, right? And I tell people that you do, don't call me or don't do anything yet until you do thinking time. And then they come and say, hey, this happened. The GC fucking took off with all your money. Now, that hasn't happened yet, but I hear it all the time. Okay, what are our possible options? Okay, well, I tried double dialing them and this and this and that. Okay. 3 options for you, right? And I tell them, get our legal team on it. Number 1, they'll find them. Number 2, who are the next 3 replacements? Prep them, have them ready to go. Let them know, unfortunately, they got to start someone else's project, but we'll make it worthwhile to them. We have to take a little bit of a hit. They come in and they keep going. We lose 3 days max. But if someone's overwhelmed, oh my God, what am I going to do? A whole week, 2 weeks pass by and the project still stopped. I keep calling him and this and doesn't answer. And I'm just like, man, I don't want to hear that. Give me your 3 options and let's go. So I think everyone's like, hey, Anthony is really just the face of the company. He brings in the opportunity. He brings in the money. He closes the leads. We have to protect his time with all that back end shit. No one, I can't bring the money if I'm back here in this room. If this room is the back end room and I'm in there all the time, this is the money room. I need to be in the money room. The money room is where I naturally flow. Like I don't want to be in that room. And so, there's moments where I get a little bit ticked. Like, guys, it sounds like a low-level problem. Like, I'm surprised you guys haven't been able to figure this out. It's been like a week we've been talking about this. What's going on, right? And so when they start realizing, like, I allow them to fix their own problems, and I say, if it's anything that's $5,000 or less, don't even ask me for approval. That's not a problem that I need to think about. Because one thing you're going to realize is that we're always going to have problems. In life, if you don't have problems, you're not living. If you don't have any problems, you're not growing, right? So we're always going to have problems. But you know what? You want to have higher quality problems as you get older in your career. You don't want to have the same problems you had 5 years ago right now. That means it's mediocre. Like, you haven't grown. If you're having $100,000, if you're having a $100,000 problem you had 5 years ago, and you're still having a 100,000 and it's not $1 million problem, you have not grown. Because you have to go through like problem solving. Like, to me, I would break my head like, a $10,000 problem. Oh my God, that was like 10 years ago. Now it's just like, I have a $5 million problem. I have a $2 million problem. I need to raise this money in 60 days. I need to raise $2 million in 60. These problems are like explosive. Like, oh my God. Now I just look at them and like, okay, so we're looking to raise 600,000 in 2 weeks. Okay. What's the game plan? What do we do? What are the next steps? How are we going to create the funnel? What are we going to do? Okay, that looks great. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's go. So I always tell people, if you're thinking that you're going to come to this company because it has great people, great systems, and there's going to be 0 problems, I'm sorry, but that's not reality. There's always going to be problems. It's just, you just want to have the high quality problems, not the same problems you had when you first started.
I love that.
Anthony, bro, do you have any parting words for us? Parting words to the listeners?
Yeah, I think in general, if you're gonna want to become an entrepreneur, you have to do what makes and fulfills you. Because I know countless friends of mine, they're super wealthy, but they're unhappy. They don't even enjoy what they do. And I'm just like, man, that is not a good feeling. And then they've been in their industry maybe 10 years already as an entrepreneur. And I can tell they're in pain. And I'm just like, dude. So I always tell people, look, find something that really fulfills you, that you really like enjoying, that you would even do it for free. That's how much you enjoy it, right? And if you just simply become the master of that and don't deviate with distraction and don't veer off or don't quit when the road gets bumpy or the first challenge and you fall out, and you stick the course, but you really like it. You have to really like things. Like, you have to, even when problems come up, if you really like what you do, you're going to figure it out. Even like when there's a challenge, like it was a major challenge 2 years ago where I had to raise like $1.2 million, and like in 30 days, I was so stressed out. I was like, man, I've never raised this much money in such a short amount of time. Now I'm just like, man, 25 million I have to raise. Okay, that sounds like a large fee, but no more, right? Because I enjoy doing it, and when people see me light up about something, they're just like, wow, this is pretty cool. Sign me up. So as long as you enjoy what you do, pick something that you're really gonna really like embody. It's you. It's to me, I think the moment that I got into building community, mentoring people, and then just fused it what I was doing. So I like both things. It was just like a match made in heaven, right? I do both very easily. People hit me up organically just to join our mentorship. And it's a good feeling because I know that I'm gonna give them value no matter what. I'm always gonna over deliver. I never like the saying goes, never, never, never underserved people, just over deliver. And then it'll come naturally.
Hell yeah. Bro, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Peace.